Hey, YouTube, Rico knows. I'm here to pick a main event. We got a fight night starting at 9 a.m. If you didn't know, I pick every single fight. And I provide analysis, I provide expertise, I provide parlays and props for every single fight. It's all on the Discord server. Shout out to them. It's all on Patreon. Go become a member. You can do it on YouTube. You can do it on Patreon, and you won't regret it. We got over like 5,600 members for a reason. Right? Been doing this for a couple years. Now, in this particular fight, we have Israel Adesanya versus Nassourdine Imavov. And I'll talk about Izzy first. If I can describe Izzy in one photo, it's going to be this photo here. All right? This is Izzy right here. You live a long life. You're the king of the jungle. And eventually, you start to fade away. That's the reality of the situation. Right? Izzy is 35 years old. He has one skill set, really. He's a great striker. He's not a great grappler by any means. He manages distance really well. He's the style bender. He's got a really, I guess, attractive fighting style for judges and things of that nature. The way he strikes, moves in and out, controls the distance. He does great interviews and all that shit. Look, man, I don't like the guy. He's talking shit to somebody's kids, bro. I don't like the guy. Okay, that's real. I'm just letting you know. So the last time we saw him in the cage, we didn't pick him. We took DDP. We knew he was going to get out-muscled, manhandled, if you will. And Dricus did his thing and tapped that boy out. Now, he did lose to Sean Strickland on short notice. Sean Strickland's hard to fight. It's a really awkward fighting style that Sean Strickland has. He just marches forward with those high knees, and he just like rock'em sock'em robots his strikes. It's really awkward. And then he had those two fights against Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira is pretty hard to beat, but he did knock him out, and he did get knocked out and all that other good stuff. Yes, he was on a run down here. I will tell you this. In these fights down here, if you ever watched them when they were occurring, the big thing here is he was able to just outclass and outstyle these guys. They couldn't impose their will. They couldn't physically get a hold of him, especially Vittori's bum ass. But I'm just saying, they showed up not ready to dominate this man. And it's because he's a pretty good athlete. It's because he's got good takedown defense. He circles away. He avoids the power hand. He does a lot of things right as a striker. What does he do wrong? He's terrible in the clinch. He's terrible up against the fence. I mean it, guys. There's just something missing there. He doesn't have that killer instinct when we're in a 50-50 trying to win that pummel battle, if you will, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Each guy has one underhook, and we're supposed to fight for double underhooks, maybe do some dirty boxing, and he's just not built for that. This dude wants to do layup drills. And I'm talking about backing somebody down into the key and getting dirty in the paint, and he's just not built like that. So as long as the fight's pretty, Israel Adesanya looks appealing to judges, for sure. And he's fighting Nassourdine Imavov. I can't think of a fighter with more momentum going into this fight. I really can't, man. I'm telling you guys, this last fight against Brendan Allen showed me a lot. He went out there. Brendan Allen was kicking ass, taking names. Brendan Allen was on a crazy streak. And he said, nah, buddy, your hype train's over. The way he treated Jared Cannonier was running around the octagon trying to catch his breath. Everybody on the internet, I watched all these other losers on the internet giving you predictions, and they're all like, oh my God, Imavov's got no cardio. He's going to die. Bro, go back and watch him take the lunch money from Jared Cannonier. Running him down all over the cage and just putting it on him. It was an early stoppage. It was. But Jared Cannonier ran like 3 miles in the cage trying to get away from this man. Ask Chris Curtis if he wants to fight Nassourdine. Chris Curtis had a headbutt and had to pretend like he didn't know where he was at. He was losing that fight so bad, homie pretended like he couldn't go on. It's crazy. The nerve. It's like when those guys get them low blows and then they roll around on the ground for 5 minutes and act like they've never been hit in the nuts before. That was Chris Curtis. He acted like he never had a headbutt and he couldn't fight anymore. He didn't want that juice. He didn't want that juice, bro. He was talking all that shit. It was a road rage incident. You ever seen somebody in road rage? Talking all that shit till we step out the car and they're like, oh my God. Sorry, mister. Sorry, Mr. Rico knows. I didn't mean to talk like that. Nice to meet you. What time is it? I'm lost. Does your GPS work? Motherfucker, pretend like you're lost. That's Chris Curtis. These fights have aged so well. Yes, he lost to Sean Strickland. But they've aged so well. These wins against Joaquin Buckley, bro? What's Buckley doing nowadays? And the Phil Hawes fight. Phil Hawes had 11 minutes of control time. That's not even a factor in this fight. There is no threat for grappling on the Izzy side. Now, I can see Imavov getting a takedown and Izzy not having a fucking clue how to get back up. Homie's a fish out of water. He don't know how to get up. There's no threat for submission in this fight, by the way. No threat for submission for either fighter. Imavov's not a grappler like you guys are thinking. Everybody's going, well, he's got some V's in his name. I bet all he does is go out there and crotch sniff. Is this guy from the Caucasus Mountains? No, he's not from Dagestan or wherever the fuck stand you want him to be from. Dude's a Frenchie. And the French guys come out and they do that kickboxing thing. And they can strike and they're kind of nice with it. This is a nice-witted fighter. I like the way he fights. I like the way he fights at every echelon of fighting. I think he's a good striker. I think he's a good grappler. I think he can take the fight anywhere. Anywhere, bro. Like, you couldn't kick my ass in the gym or the parking lot or the ring or in the forest. I don't care what the damn canvas is, bro. You're not beating me. That's the mindset I have right now when I look at Imavov. He's not a dying king. If anything, you can go back and look at his losses. How old was he when he lost these two fights? 2021? That's 4 years ago. He's 25 years old. 2 years later, 27? It's really young, guys. That's really young. I think he's going towards his peak. I think he's going towards greatness. Towards greatness. Israel Adesanya? What up, Izzy? I see your rib cage, bro. I see your rib cage, Izzy. Now, I understand. I understand a lot of you guys want to bet on this fight. Let me explain something to you guys. There's money to be made on this fight card, and I don't think it's in the main event. Yes, you can take Imavov, and I like it at plus 132. I would really like it if Izzy was a bigger favorite. This feels like a fight worth watching and learning about the two fighters. You can't call it a lock by any means. Remember, if I tell you a fight's a lock, 83% hit rate over the last 500 fights or so. But in this particular fight, I can't call it a lock. I just have to look at it for what it is. It's a lean. There's no need to parlay it. And if you're going to bet on this in a certain way, the ways to do this, method of victory, it's going to be by points. I believe this fight's going the distance. I don't know if anybody gets a stop. They're both pretty tough. Like I told you, I'm not concerned about the cardio. I really am not. So for me, and the reason is I don't think it's going to be a wrestling-heavy fight. When you start seeing guys reach their culmination point when it comes to cardio, it's because one of them had to use a certain muscle group they've never used before. Like all you guys out there who think you're pretty slick because you run on an all-weather track, and then all of a sudden you got to go hike a mountain. You don't make it. Oh, I run miles around there in the all-weather track. I walk in the mall with my New Balance shoes. And then all of a sudden, you can't climb that mountain because those are different muscles, bro. It's the way it is with the grapplers and the strikers here. So, for me personally, I think that this fight actually goes the distance with just some type of, I guess, strategic striking. But if Imavov at any point wins the scramble and we get a takedown, there will be no sweeps. There will be no submissions, really. There will be no getting back on your feet. Maybe Izzy knows how to walk and put his back against the fence and get back up. Highly doubt it, man. I watched this dude he'll just concede defeat. He'll just stay there. City kickboxing. They're in shape. Most of their guys are in shape from what I've been watching off of Dana White Contender Series in the last year. From what I've been watching, anybody coming out of that fight camp is in shape. But that doesn't mean they know how to get up. Chilling on their back, bro. Hey, the minute you see a takedown, I want you guys to remember this. You're going to be watching this main event. You're going to see a takedown occur by Imavov. Could be the second round. If you see Israel Adesanya close his guard or start doing these heel kicks to the kidneys, like a baby on his back, like a dying cockroach, he starts doing these little kicks. Bro, live bet that shit on Imavov all day. Just throw 2 units on Imavov. You have to. That nigga don't know how to get up. If you don't see him start digging for an underhook, get on his hip, shrimp. If you don't see him do any type of sweeping or transitions to other Dominant body positions. Get him the hell out of here, bro. So I just feel like there's an opportunity there. But I'm going to even say this. I can't sit here after watching what happened against Brendan Allen. I can't sit here and tell you Israel Adesanya is that much better of a striker than Imavov. Like, I just can't. I can't go there. So if you think Israel Adesanya is a better striker and he's going to go out there and outclass him and outstrike him, more power to you. But I wouldn't bet on it. Watch it. Enjoy it. Predict it. I wouldn't bet on it. It's not worth it. It's a minus 156 to begin with. What are you doing? What are you saying? None of this shit intrigues me. Will the fight go the distance? I say yes. It's minus 174. You got to parlay that. If you want to know what I would parlay it with, become an MVP. I'll show you the whole chart. MVPs get the whole chart. Total rounds. Think we're hitting the over. It's minus 192. How will the fight end? Go to points. It's minus 185. I just don't see anywhere. If you think Israel Adesanya is winning the fight, don't do the money line. Go down here, and it'll say like Izzy to win the fight plus the third round starting. Some shit like that. Israel Adesanya to win and round 3 to start. There it is, minus 115. Do that if you like Izzy. Don't go bet that money line. Go down here and do this. Israel Adesanya by points. No, do not do by submission. That's not happening. You guys get what I'm saying? If you like Nassourdine to win the fight. To win and round 5 to start is plus 260, bro. There it is. Get crazy. Adesanya by submission or Nassourdine by points? No. Adesanya's not getting submission, so you're just betting by points at that point. By points, submit. I want points. How will this fight end? By points, it was minus something, right? It wasn't good. We're trying to get plus 100 at best. Don't worry about none of this shit. We're not trying to do it. Double chance. Imavov. Knockout. Where's Imavov? Knockout in points. Plus 170. I don't feel like there's a whole lot of money to be made here. I really don't. But I'm going to go with Imavov because I got to pick it. It's a lean. Become an MVP. Oh, it's not a lean. Hold on. He's the underdog. It's a value bet. It's a value bet at plus 132. How often do we get the value bets right, guys? 42%. I know it doesn't sound great. Check to see how often an underdog wins in the UFC. Yeah, we get it right better than that. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Take care, y'all. Peace.